Okay, good morning once again, and today we will have a very important system called central nervous system. Okay, please you can all close your books. Please listen, this is very important. Any important points, register yourself in your mind and note it down later. Any very important, I will let you know, you can write. So before going to the aging of nervous system, the very identity of an elderly comes from the nervous system. The very identity. I already told you in the first class what makes you look aged. What makes you look aged? What was the point that I said you? Yes, excellent, food. So more food, more oxidative stress, more aging. This is the world around well accepted theory. More food, more oxidative stress, more free radical injury. That is a process of aging. So this is one compartment. So a person looks more aged. For the same 25-year-old, somebody will look like 35, somebody will look like 17. Have you seen like that? Yes. Sometimes when you how நான் எவ்வளோ இருப்பேன் அப்படி பாருங்கள் சொல்லுங்கன்னு பார்த்தா என்ன ஒரு 30 இருக்குமா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நமக்கு ஒரு 18 வயசு இருக்கும்போது அப்படி கேட்கும்போது you feel very dull. Sometimes when you are 35, என்ன உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 22 இருக்குமா? Are you 22 years? You feel more happy because it is because brain has a center called rewarding and punishing center. Are you aware of that? Yes, somebody is aware? Yes. So now today the very identity of aging, slowness of walking, slowness of movement, head nodding, hand shivering, pin rolling movement. So we will see what is, so we will discuss one by one. So before going to that, let us see the basic anatomy of so any rough idea who are they? Yeah, cerebrum, cerebellum, the midbrain, hindbrain. Hindbrain is the cerebellum. Some important landmarks. Cerebrum, which is the main chunk of your central nervous system, which contains the cerebral cortex, outer cortex, inner medulla. So outer is the gray matter, inner is the white matter. How do I remember that? Have you struggled to remember that? Yes. You remember a egg yolk. Outer is the gray. Have you seen a gray outer lining? Those who consume eggs, you have seen an outer gray powdery material. Inside you see a yellow sac, the yellow matter which is a boiled egg. So with that point you remember outer is the gray and inner is the white matter. I will say why they have differentiated as gray and white. And what is the changes, what are all the changes that you expect in aging, the white matter and the gray matter, how the cortex and medulla differentiates. So cerebrum, midbrain. So cerebrum takes care of all our motor and skill activities. Writing, drawing, speaking, dancing, thinking, language, analytical skills, all is taken care by the cerebrum. And the hindbrain, that is the cerebellum, takes care of the balance and equilibrium. Hindbrain takes care of the balance and equilibrium. This was initially large for us when we needed more balance, when we were flying, when we were jumping. So we were also once flying and jumping like our ancestors. So but as the evolution, archaeological evolution is there, the requirement of our hindbrain has shrunk. Thereby it has not become a complete vestigial organ. Have I told you about vestigial organ? What are vestigial organs? Appendix, third nictitating membrane, yes, coccyx, Yeah, so the organs use it or lose it. So we didn't use it, so we lost it. So we didn't use it. So we also had a third membrane, third eye membrane, what we see in frogs. So the upper eyelid, lower eyelid, and you have a third eyelid like this, which you see in some birds, some frogs, some insects. You see the third membrane. So our hindbrain didn't become vestigial, but has significantly shrunk in size, which takes care of the equilibrium and balance. The midbrain takes care of the autonomic central activities like breathing, swallowing, coughing, sneezing. So some important activities like breathing, vomiting sensation. So all is taken care by the midbrain. So the midbrain has the very important center called the respiratory center, which takes care of our breathing, which accelerates our breathing when we are breathless, which decelerates our breathing when we are at rest. And then all the functions of cerebrum, midbrain, hindbrain are traveling through the spinal cord through various tracts by name called tracts. What are tracts? The functions, the intentions of the superior part of the brain, that is the cerebrum, the cerebellum and the midbrain. What are all they think, what are all they try to execute through our peripheral organs by the name of our upper limbs, lower limbs, our GIT, our respiratory system, through the spinal cord, which contains tracts. Based upon the link, suppose you have some train connecting Chennai to Kanyakumari, you call Madras Kanyakumari Express. Madras to Bombay, Chennai Bombay Express. So similarly, the names are spelt so: cerebrospinal tract, cerebellospinal tract. The midbrain, from the midbrain, it is again called as a spinal tract, from the midbrain spinal tract. So all the tracts are traveling, and you need to imagine this like a you imagine some flowers here. I am not drawing flowers. So what is this? A bouquet. You remember? A bouquet. And the ring, what I have drawn is a ring, an imaginary ring present here called internal capsule. Why I am telling important here? More higher the injury, lesser is the damage. The damage is only here, like what we see in a cauliflower. Imagine the brain again to look like a, not an inverted cauliflower like our lungs, but a normal cauliflower. So எதெல்லாம் மேலே போச்சோ அம்மா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, what our mother does, she chips off the upper part of the cauliflower and takes rest for the eating. But if the damage is here, this entire part will be lost. That is why in a bouquet, if only one flower falls, no problem, either you can insert or you can dip. But if this ring and the கட்டி இருக்கும் இல்லையா அந்த bouquet hold, if that is cut off, the entire bouquet will fall. So that is the importance of internal capsule. So this is very, very important. You have to remember. But whereas you come to the spinal cord, that is the mudugu thandu. Spinal cord, lower the injury, lesser the damage. So we are dividing here. What is this level? Level of neck. Level of neck. There is a big opening called cisterna magna. Cisterna magna, that is the biggest orifice of the skull, which is the outlet of the brain through the cranium. It happens at the level of occiput, at the level of C1, atlas and axis. You remember those two bones? For historical importance, for some time of thinking, please remember the first two bones of cervical vertebra is called atlas and axis. Else all are remembered by only numbers. So always remember either be first or last. So the cervical vertebra, the Ardal Parisu was given for C2 also, axis. Why they are important? All other vertebra look alike, but whereas the atlas is like a athipadam, the fig, no? Wheel. Adu madri irukku. And the axis is like this. Or bambra mari irukku. So atlas and axis, that is why head has a fantastic movement. It can turn here, it can turn here. This side a girl you can see, this side a girl you can see. At the back for the answer still you can see. So a fantastic, so God has given the fantastic structure called atlas and axis. But if you do any mistake, the judicial hanging, not the suicidal hanging. I mentioned about the judicial hanging. The fracture happens at the atlas and axis. So remember, these are important terms. In judicial hanging, what are all the bones that are likely to get fractured and cause judicial death is atlas and axis. So what was once wonderful to see so many things, but if you do any mistake, that is the bone that will be losing. But why I am telling importance, this is of some judicial importance. Now coming to spinal cord, the spinal cord at the level of C1, the brain ends. So that is the central nervous system, where you have the peripheral nervous system. From the neck, the spinal cord, lower the injury, lesser the damage. So up we saw higher the injury, lesser the damage, whereas in the peripheral nervous system, lower the injury. Why? Because you know cervical vertebra is 7, cervical nerves are 8. So do you remember your anatomy? So let us simply refresh, small refreshing. Cervical you have 7 vertebra, thoracic you have 12, lumbar you have 5, sacrum you have 5, coccyx you have 4. This is bones. These are our bones. So these are basics. You should never do any mistakes on this. Cervical C7, T12, L5, S5, C4. Like train compartments you have to remember. Cervical nerves C8, T12, L5, S5, C0. Like somewhere in maths we used to study like this. So you remember these numbers, mug up or learn it or remember or imagine, however you want, you have to remember this. So only cervical vertebra has 7 vertebra but 8 nerves, whereas all have even pairs. Coccyx are bachelors, so they don't have any pairs, they have 0 nerves. So cervix, one had an extra connection, all those had a even connections. So all these connections are coming like this. I have exaggerated, but C1 la arambichu S5 la mudiyum. Okay, so all comes in pairs. So all the connections are going. So higher the damage, more is the injury. Lower the damage, less is the injury. Why it is important? Any fall, road traffic accident, fall from height, building la keela gudichitaanga, veliye painting, those who are painting in the outer side, AC technicians fitting the AC splits outside, they tend to fall from height. Once they fall, the vertebral column gets bunched in and thereby there is an injury in the spinal cord. So lesser the injury at the spinal cord, lower is the damage. So what type of individuals you are likely to see? Only if they lose their lower limb power below the hip, they are called paraplegia. They are called paraplegia. Lower half not working. All 4 not working. Somebody from Tirunelveli here? Anybody? Tirunelveli, Thuthukudi, Tenkasi? Nobody. Okay. Below the neck not working. It is called quadriplegia. Quadriplegia. You remember for just importance, one small line I'll say. In Tirunelveli district there is an association called Amar Seva Sangam. So there all quadriplegic, paraplegic people are taken care by themselves, or else they are likely to be called as physically challenged or handicapped. So but they take care of themselves, they walk, they drive cars, so all those they do. When you find them you can learn about them. So below the hip not working, paraplegia. Below the neck not working, quadriplegia. One half not working, it is called, when you don't see one eye of vision, hemianopia. So it is hemiplegia. Hemiplegia, paraplegia, quadriplegia. So all those paraplegias. So in general, what are they called? As paralysis. In general, they are called paralysis. But if you want to distinguish and describe, you call it as plegias. You call it as plegias. Plegia, a small difference from plegia. One word what you remember is paresis. Paresis. What is the difference between plegia and paresis? The initial names will be the same. Hemiplegia, quadriplegia, paraplegia. Plegia is complete loss of muscle power. Paresis is partial loss of muscle power. So they might be able to lift, like in master they do one step is there, no? So partial lifting of hand. So that is called paresis. Complete loss is paraplegia. They have the patient walking like this. So the gait is called circumduction gait. In so Ajit walks in one movie, no? Some movie I don't remember. So again, and Dhanush also for taking a seat in a bus. So he walks like this. So that is called paraplegia, and that gait is called circumduction gait. Circumduction. Why it is important? In neurology, most of the diseases are diagnosed with gait. What you call by gait is a style of walking. Is the style of walking. There are several styles of walking. So normally you have a walking phase called swing phase and stance phase. Walking contains two phases. So the first step of walking is a heel strike. Whenever you walk, the first step is a heel strike. Then you have a stance phase of the fellow limb traveling, and again the next limb has a heel strike. So heel strike to heel strike is one feet length, that is one walk length. So that gait is normal. As you walk, you see normal gait. But several gaits are seen in neurological conditions, because I said to you that the central nervous system is connected to the peripheral nervous system through all the nerves. When there is incoherence in the nerves connecting the central and the peripheral system, they might lose their strength of lower limbs and variety of gaits. You see some elderly walking like this. Have you seen? Yes, this is called what gait? This is called Festinant gait or scissoring gait, seen in Parkinson's patient. Parkinson's patient will describe shortly, but you remember this gait. Circumduction gait we have seen, and there are several other gaits like duck gait, waddling gait. So depending upon the neural problems they have. So an important part here, you see some girls having beautiful ponytail. So based upon that name, it is called conus medullaris. Conus medullaris. See, most of the terms in medicine are described based on two things. One, on food. You see anchovy sauce appearance, fried cheese appearance, salt and pepper appearance, dot and blot, or they are described on a female. To remember more, so either on food or female they are described. So conus medullaris, it's a ponytail. So like the horse, you have the back of the horse, you have the, from there is a bunch of hair. So the bunch of hair is called phylum terminale. This ends somewhere at L2. What is L2? L2 is lumbar vertebra 2. So with this background, let us enter into the pathology of central nervous system. So we will start the class now. So here, so with this basics, you need to know this basics. Without knowing the basics, it's very difficult. And I also, but you would have you will remember this. You know about the meninges. Already in the class we described the pia mater, dura mater, pia mater, arachnoid membrane, dura mater. Pia mater is next. The next arachnoid membrane. The next is the dura mater. So now, what are all the pathologies? So pathologies we see either infective pathologies, we see vascular or degenerative pathologies. So initially, first we will see about some degenerative pathologies. So please type stroke. So stroke is called okay. So before going to the stroke, before knowing what is stroke is a complete loss of one part of the brain. So stroke, before going to stroke, there is some warning sign, alarming warning sign. That is called transient ischemic attack. It's called transient ischemic attack. பல்ப் ஃபியூஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்ன கொஞ்ச நாள் மின்னி எரியும், போட்டோடனே எரியாது, போட்டு வச்சுட்டு அந்த பல்பாக போட்டு வச்சுட்டு குளிக்க போயிட்டு வாங்க, வந்த உடனே எரிஞ்சிடும் அப்படின்வாங்க சில வீட்டில். அந்த பல்புனா முன்னாடியே போடணும், 1 hour before you need to on. சில ரிமோட்லாம் கிட்ட போனால் தான் வேலை செய்யும். அந்த மாதிரி வேரியஸ் டெக்னாலஜிஸ் யூ ஹேவ். ஸோ சிமிலர்லி திஸ் பல்ப் before getting fused initially blinks. So that is a warning sign. It is called transient ischemic attack or reversible neurological deficit. Transient ischemic attack or reversible neurological deficit. It is nothing but a transient, a temporary, a தற்சமயத்திற்கு. There is a interference, there is a stoppage in the flow of blood from heart to the brain. So for knowing that what is the main important blood supply of the brain is the internal carotid artery, vertebral artery, spinal artery, and there you have one small Kathipara junction called circle of Willis, where you have the anterior spinal artery, the posterior spinal artery, pica, ICA, MCA, all those you remember. That is not very important, but you remember that there is one small junction, very important junction, a circle of Rosas. It is called circle of Willis. So transient ischemic attack is a temporary cessation of blood supply to the brain from the heart. That the patient complains of a blackout. கண் இருட்டுற மாதிரி இருக்குன்னா it need not be necessarily a retinal detachment, a retinal hemorrhage. It can be a transient ischemic attack also. So you have to think about that. Next we come to know about stroke. Stroke is nothing but already we discussed 3 arteries in the first class: pineal artery, the cardiac arteries, coronary artery, and the cerebral arteries. So any artery can go for 2 types of vascular events. One is an infarct. Infarct is adappu. There is a complete block of the blood flowing to the organ beyond the block. Block வரைக்கும் போகும், blockக்கு பின்னாடி போகாது. There is a complete stoppage. Infarct is such. Infarct causes gangrene. மரம் பட்டு போகிறது. இந்த பனை மரம்லாம் தண்ணி இல்லை, தென்னை மரம் தண்ணி இல்லைன்னா செடி பட்டு போயிடும், கருத்து போயிடும் வெயில் காலங்களில். அது மாதிரி தண்ணி இல்லாமல் செடிகள் பட்டு போவது போல, without blood, with the stoppage of blood because of the block, causing of block, variety of reasons: smoking, aging, cancer, so many reasons. The block, I told the process of deposition of lipids, that is the cholesterol plaques in the blood vessel, starts from womb to tomb. Have I said that? No. Please remember this important point. This is very important. The process of settling, need not write, please remember, don't write everything. The process of settling, ஒரு சைலன்சர் அடைக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு நாளில் ஆகுறதில்ல. சைலன்சர் வச்சதுலேருந்தே அடைக்கும். ஒரு குழா இருக்குது, பாத்ரூம் போகிற குழாவோ கிச்சனுக்கு போகிற குழாவோ, அதில் உப்பு அடைக்கிறதுக்கு முதல் நாளே அடைச்சிடுறதில்ல. ஒரு நாள் அந்த காவை அடைக்கும் தெரியுங்களா? வீட்டில் கிச்சன்லேருந்து வர எல்லாம் அந்த புதினா, கொத்தமல்லி, கருவேப்பிலை, முடி, பால் கவர் பேக்கெட்டோட நுனி, ஷாம்பு கவர் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து அப்படியே ஒரு குருமா, கெட்டியான குருமா மாட்டின மாதிரி மாட்டியிருக்கும். அப்போ நம்மலாம் கைவிட யோசிப்போம், அண்ணா வாங்க யாராவது வந்து காப்பாத்துங்களேன், யாராவது வந்து. ஸோ வி கால் சம்படி. அவர் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவார், பெரிய முன்னாடியில் மூங்கில் பத்தை இஸ் பேம்பு வச்சு உள்ள ஷேக் பண்ணுவார். பண்ணும்போது எ பைப் இன் எ பைப் த பிளாக் இஸ் ரிமோட். அப்புறமா நல்லா தண்ணி ஊற்றி விடுங்கம்மான்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அப்புறம் எல்லாமே போய்டும். டு யூ ரிமெம்பர் திஸ் ப்ராசஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் அட் யர் ஹோம்? சிமிலர் ப்ராசஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் இன்ஃபாக்ட். த பத்தை இஸ் கால்ட் ஆஞ்சியோகிராம். த பத்தை எடுத்துட்டு பைப் சின்னதாக இருக்குமா, வேறு பைப் மாற்றிடலாம், திரும்ப அடைக்கும். இட்ஸ் கால்ட் ஸ்டென்டிங். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த ப்ராசஸ். ஸோ டு நோ தி nomenclature of the arterial supply, the process what is used is called angiography. Angiography can be used with radio opaque materials, fluorescent materials. Depending upon that, for fundus fluorescence angiogram you have in your eyes, coronary angiogram, peripheral angiogram. So for a vascular event, to know it is an infarct or a hemorrhage, the minimum investigation what you need is a CT scan. CT scan, the full form is called computerized tomography. So I will come back to the process what I described to you was called womb to tomb. womb அப்படினா கருவறை, tomb அப்படினா கல்லறை. கருவறை முதல் கல்லறை வரை the process of atherosclerosis, the deposition of lipid. இந்த பழைய காலத்தில் சிம்னிஸ் இருக்கும் வீட்டில், கிச்சனுக்கு மேலே நேராக சிம்னிஸ் இருக்கும். அது க்ளீன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை வருவாங்க. அப்படியே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கறியாக எடுப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அந்த ப்ராசஸ் வரதே நம்ம வயிற்றில் இருக்கும் பொழுதே அந்த ப்ராசஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சிடுது. அப்புறம் இந்த ஸ்மோக்கிங், அவர் ஹேபிட்ஸ் aggravates the processes and thereby it ends in a problem called infarct. Please type stroke, next word infarct. We have a diagram there itself, but you please type now, we will have a better diagram. So it is called infarct and hemorrhage. Infarct is total stoppage because of this அடப்பு. அந்த அடப்பு நாள் பட்டு இருந்து தள்ளி என்ன ஆகுது, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிற வெசல் சில நாள் வெடிச்சிரும். சொல்லுவாங்கள்ல, ரத்த குழாய் வெடிஞ்சு அம்மா இறந்துட்டாங்க, ரத்த குழாய் வெடிஞ்சு பாட்டி இறந்துட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்களா, அந்த ரத்த குழாய் வெடிப்பு இஸ் கால்ட் ஹெமராஜிக் இன்ஃபாக்ட். ஸோ திஸ் கருத்து போகிறது இஸ் நத்திங் பட் கேங்க்ரீன், இஸ் கால்ட் கேங்க்ரீன் and hemorrhage. So depending upon please go up, I didn't see, go up, okay, right. So you see this infarct, no, this black structures. So the black structures are nothing but devoid of blood supply, they become dead. Okay, so that is important. Hemorrhage, infarct. What is BPPV? So stroke, are you now convinced with the concept of stroke? What are all the classical signs of stroke? Is called FAST, FAST. Facial angle deviation, arm weakness, speech slurring and time is very important. Whenever you see somebody with angle mouth deviation, vaai konikkirathu, slurring of speech, hand is the dropping of any tumbler or plate, and that you should work in time, the patient should be shifted to the hospital to prevent any neurological loss, else you will see the patient with neurological loss, that is called hemiparesis or hemiplegia, paraplegia. But in stroke generally you come across only hemiplegias, no paraplegias. Rarely you see quadriplegia when there is bilateral stroke, both right and left side. So now I come to the next diagnosis called BPPV. Please try BPPV. BPPV means it is not something like Padma Seshadri or something like, it is called benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. Benign means non-cancerous. பயப்படாதீங்க, இது ஒன்றும் ஆபத்து இல்லை, benign. Any condition is called benign which is not emergency, சாதா. Paroxysmal means there is no incidence, இது வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, எப்போ வேணாலும் வரும், sporadic அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Positional அப்படின்னா நிலை மாறும் தன்மை வரும் பொழுது, எப்போலாம் when there is a change in positional, it is called positional. படிச்சுட்டே இருப்பாங்க வயசானவங்க, காலைல ஏஞ்சி உட்கார்ந்தமா ரூமே சுத்துற மாதிரி எனக்கு இருந்தது, அப்படியே வாந்தி வர மாதிரி இருந்தது, கீழே விட்டா விழுந்துரும் போல இருக்கு, ரங்கராட்னத்தில் சுற்றி இறக்கி விட்ட மாதிரி இருக்கு. I felt a spinning sensation as if the whole room is spinning around myself. I felt a sort of disequilibrium that I might fall down. I felt a nausea, I felt a vomiting sensation. I felt the fear of fall. I needed somebody's help. I felt as if I've been dropping from 1,000 feet height. I felt like going on a ringa roses or like a giant wheel or a space shuttle. I felt that type of experience. I felt so much that I simply got back, closed my eyes and I slept. So this type of all this patient will not say. மயக்கமா இருக்குமா எனக்கு அவ்வளோதான் சொல்லுவாங்க. You need to add probing questions. You need to add ரூம் சுற்றுற மாதிரி இருக்கா, ரங்கராட்டனத்தில் சுற்றி இறக்கி விட்ட மாதிரி இருக்கா, நாய் துரத்துனா ஒரு வேர்வை வருமே படபடப்பு வருமே அது மாதிரி இருக்கா. When you say some examples, when they feel the similarity, they tend to say about the problem better. So what is the problem of benign positional paroxysmal vertigo? Is a problem happening at the internal in the 8th cranial nerve. The 8th cranial nerve is called vestibulocochlear nerve. So the 8th cranial nerve has two functions. Vestibule is for balance, cochlea is for hearing. So காது கேட்பதற்கும் நிலையான தன்மை, that is for equilibrium. So for equilibrium you need 3 organs to be functional for equilibrium. One is the cerebellum, ear, and you need the vision and joint sense, proprioception. It is called proprioception. நம்ம எங்கே நின்றுட்டு இருக்கோம், அந்த ஒரு படத்தில் விவேக் சொல்வார், ஆட்டோ ரொம்ப நேரமாக ஏத்தமாக போயிட்டே இருக்கப்பா எங்கே போகுது, கண்ணை மூடினபடியே அவரால் சொல்ல முடிஞ்சது. Did you see that important scientific point? He was kept blindfolded in that comedy scene, but he was able to say ரொம்ப நேரம் பிரிட்ஜ் ஏறுற மாதிரியே இருக்கப்பா எங்கே இறங்கவே இல்லை அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாரு. அப்போனா விஷன் இஸ் நாட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ஆர் கம்ப்ளீட்லி நெசசரி ஃபார் பேலன்ஸ். So vision forms a part of balance. So vision, ear, proprioception with the help of cerebellum, 3 constitutes your balance. That is why an alcoholic daggers that you would have studied in your 12th standard itself, it is called, it affects the cerebellum. அதனால drunkard walk அப்படின்னு இருக்கு, பின்னாடி தான் விழுவாங்க அவங்க, ரிவர்ஸ் கியரில் போவாங்க. So but that is apart. BPPV is a different experience. Patient will feel more problematic than a stroke. ஸ்ட்ரோக்குக்கு கூட அவ்வளோ பயப்பட மாட்டாங்க, ஏதோ மரத்து போன மாதிரி இருக்குப்பா, தட்டி தட்டி பார்த்தா என்ன ஒன்றும் பிடியே காணும் அப்படின்வாங்க, அவ்வளோதான். ஆனால் இதுக்கு பயந்து ஓபிக்கு வந்துருவாங்க. ஸோ இட் கேன் ஹேப்பன் எனிவேர் பிகாஸ் இட் இஸ் paroxysmal. நீங்கள் சம்டைம்ஸ் when you are seeing the vision, but the treatment for vertigo, this is called small term, this is a big term BPPV, small செல்ல பேருன்னு இருக்கு, nickname it is called vertigo. The exercises of vertigo are those which are related with the eyes. Those are called head fixation exercise. Head remains at the same position, eyes go up and down. In one side the vision is fixed, the head goes up and down. So in Tamil they call காட்சி நிலைப்பாடு பயிற்சி, தலை நிலைப்பாடு பயிற்சி, and they are called vertigo adaptation techniques. So vertigo, you feel the dizzy feeling, ரூமே சுத்துற மாதிரி இருக்கு. Physiologically those things you see in when you are climbing a uphill like for Ooty, Kodaikanal, Tirupati, you want to go up, you feel the sensation. Somebody is sitting in train or a omni car in the reverse direction for the motion. So simply it is called motion sickness. அதனால தான் சில பஸ்லலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சைடில் வாந்தி காஞ்சு ஒட்டி போயிருக்கும், சில சீட்டில் வாந்தி எடுக்கிறவங்க சில பிள்ளைங்க இருப்பாங்க, சில பிள்ளைங்க நல்லா சாப்பிட்டு என்ஜாய் பண்ணி டான்ஸ் ஆடுற பிள்ளைங்களும் இருப்பாங்க. எக்ஸ்கர்ஷனில் போனீங்கன்னா ஒரு 60 பிள்ளைங்க கொண்ட ஒரு பஸ்ஸில் ஃபியூல் பி ஆட்டம் பாட்டம் அப்படியே ரஃபிள்ஸு லேஸு அது இதை சாப்பிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, ஒருத்தர் கம்முன்னு தலை இப்படி வச்சுன்னு வந்தபடி இருப்பாங்க, பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? They are all candidates for motion sickness. Later they can develop BPPV. And what is SVIC? Sri Venkateswara Institute of Cardiology கிடையாது, small vessel ischemic changes. Small vessel ischemic changes. Please write small vessel ischemic changes. SVIC போட்டால் ஓகே தான். Small vessel ischemic changes are that and the blood vesselsல artery, arterioles, capillaries, venules, veins, திரும்ப artery, that is the inferior vena cava heart. So in the capillaries, in the venules, in the arterioles, the places when there are some hemodynamic damage, when the blood supply is less, the entire organ may be functioning well, but the terminal parts may not be functioning well. I mean in the brain, the cortex alone may not be working well, the medulla will be working well. So the cortex, there is some failure in the event, but for a brain all the important function happens at the cortex, only the transmission happens at the medulla. The neurons are arranged in such a way that the body of the neuron, this diagram you would have studied in your school. Have you studied something like this? It is the structure of the cytoplasm, nucleoplasm, all those dendry bodies, Golgi bodies, rough endoplasmic, smooth endoplasmic, mitochondria, all those structures are here. Here you have the dendrites. Dendrites gives connections. அப்படியே connection போயிட்டே இருக்கும். இது main function. It is the axon. So where I was? Yes, small vessel ischemic injuries, these are arranged at the level of cortex and these are arranged at the level of medulla. Similarly, when you remember a nephron, this is called glomerulus, this is called proximal convoluted tubule. Do you know structure of a nephron? Yes, this is called loop of Henle, this is called distal convoluted tubule. All this remains in the cortex. Do you see some similarity? The body and the tail. The tail remains in the medulla, the body remains in the cortex. So small vessel ischemic changes are those changes which affect the cortex, sparing the medulla, and thereby the functional importance of the cortex is lost. So what is the clinical presentation of small vessel ischemic changes is, they don't have any paraplegia, quadriplegia, no plegias, but they are generally dull, slow, less remembering, more forgetful, less attentive. This generally happens in smokers, old age, alone living persons, diabetes, hypertension. These are all the variety of causes causing small vessel ischemic changes. Small vessel ischemic changes can also called, they also cause a dementia called vascular dementia. We will discuss about that later. Next, please type hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus, you all need to remember that the brain is swimming and bathing in a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid has a pair of lateral ventricles, 1/3 ventricle and the 4th ventricle. So when there is an obstruction of the flow from the ventricle to the outward bathing system of cerebral spinal fluid, the CSF is likely to get more filled, or like what we see in an infarct, it accumulates more in the brain itself, thereby decreasing the cortex and medulla. So in the brain you have the ventricles. Please type ventricles of the brain. So generally this happens even in children. It is called hydrocephalus. It has to be treated early. If it happens in adults, it is called normal pressure hydrocephalus. So there are some ducts, the sylvian duct, cerebral aqueduct. So when the duct is getting obstructed, the cerebrospinal fluid is inside. When the fluid is more, the cortex, the solid part is jammed in, and thereby it causes the reduction of cortex and medulla, and this also causes, and this you see in two persons. Normal hydrocephalus, plain hydrocephalus you see in children. How do you identify their frontal width? The width of the diameter of the head circumference is more. Normal, you have some percentile for head circumference. Please type hydrocephalus in children. You see those children having a bigger heads and they need to get treated, or else they will have some developmental delay. Whereas in elders it is called normal pressure hydrocephalus, and that can cause a tendency to fall. சில வயசானவங்க திரும்ப கீழே விழுறாங்க. So you will see children like this, head frontal bossing. Now no hydrocephalus, the head is like this. When there is a hydrocephalus, head மேல மட்டும் ரொம்ப பெருசாயிடும். So it needs to be identified early. Only you know but whenever you study like this, you will see every child like this. ஓ இந்த குழந்தைக்கு தலை பெருசாக இருக்கே டாக்டர் அன்றைக்கி ஹைட்ரோகெஃபாலஸ் சொன்னார் திஸ் சைல்டு யூ ஷுட் நாட் திங்க் லைக் தட் பட் ப்ளீஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் பி சஸ்பீஷியஸ் ஃபைண்ட் எவ்ரி சைல்டு அஸ் yes see everybody as problematic until proved otherwise. Yes, in hydrocephalus of the elderly, please type hydrocephalus in adults. Hydrocephalus in adults, it reduces the cortex and medulla of the brain and thereby the patient presents as tendency of falling, failure of memory and less attentive. So அப்படியே நடந்துட்டே போவாங்க டபக்கு டபக்குன்னு விழுந்துருவாங்க. So an elderly, if they present with complaints of frequent falls with no any pre-indication, the patients can be candidates for hydrocephalus. And what is atrophy? In a consequence of hydrocephalus, the brain becomes shrunk because water is more, the land is less. So the brain shrinks. Any shrinkage is called atrophy. This atrophy can happen by degeneration, just by aging, more free radical damage, more oxidative stress, can be causing by vascular injury like smoking, alcohol drinking, cancerous condition. So see here, very dangerous hydrocephalus. Almost these are all very rare, but of course in Egmore GH, if you see, you stand outside the GH, you want to identify patients, go outside a ECG OPD department, simply stand. You will see variety of cases, different cases, but you need to take some time, go there and stand. You need not go inside also, just stand in front of a government hospital. You will see all variety of cases. When you study it previously, you will be able to identify. Okay, then what you call is called dementia. Dementia is called ஞாபக மறதி. So this ஞாபக மறதி, so memory has three components: registration, restoration, recall. Whenever you want to remember, first you need to pay attention. You need to, that is why in school you call school attention, then only they say that's for standard number 8, you first class, teacher is absent, go to library. They say instructions in the assembly, no? So standard T's means either you can listen, or if you don't want to listen, you need not listen. So memory, the first component of memory is attention. If you pay attention, even one time you listen or write, you will remember. Then you need to restoration. Restoration is converting the audio video signals into memory circuits. What is important for restoration? Sleep. Sleep is essential for consolidation of memory. Do you know this point? Yes. Sleep is highly essential, especially at the pineal gland time of 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. The patient or a person should be absolutely in sleep. And you know what is the contraindication here? The maximum users of YouTube are at 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. You know that data? Most of them scroll YouTube in the night. So definitely they will have poor memory. என்னதான் படிக்கிற பெரிய படிப்பு சார்ந்தா கூட அந்த நேரத்தில் யூடியூப் பார்த்தீங்கனாலோ வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்த்தீங்கனாலோ யூ கேன் நாட் ரிமெம்பர். திஸ் இஸ் அ சேலஞ்ச். என்னதான் நீங்கள் ஸ்டேட் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, ஸ்கூல் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, எப்படிப்பட்ட அப்பாட்டக்கராக இருந்தால் கூட அந்த நேரம் நீங்கள் தூங்கலைன்னா யூ கேன் நாட் ரிமெம்பர். திஸ் இஸ் வாட் ஐ எம் சேயிங். ஆல் தீஸ் ஆர் ஃப்ரம் மை ஓல்டு டே, வாட் ஐ ஹவ் ஸ்டடிட். What I remember, because of some sleep disturbances, you might have failure of memory. The third point what you need to remember is recall. லைப்ரரியில் நிறைய புக் இருக்கும். அதில் இந்த இடத்துல இந்த புக்கில் சில பேஜில் நம்ம படிக்கும்போது நம்ம பார்த்தோமே, பாயில்ஸ் லா மேலே பார்த்தோம், சார்ல்ஸ் லா கீழே பார்த்தோம், லைட் ரியாக்ஷன் இங்கே பார்த்தோமே புக்கில். தட் மெமரி இஸ் கால் ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபிக் மெமரி. தட் வில் பி ஆப்சண்ட் இன் சாஃப்ட் மீடியா. லேப்டாப்பில் படிக்கிறது, ஆன்லைனில் படிக்கிறது, கூகுளில் போய் நீங்கள் சர்ச் பண்ணி கற்றுக்கோங்கன்னா, கூகுளில் மேப் பார்த்து ஒரு லொக்கேஷன் போகிறது வேறு, ஒரு ஆள் சொல்லி ஒரு லொக்கேஷன் போகிறது வேறு. நீங்களாக போனீங்கன்னா அந்த இடத்துக்கு எத்தனை தடவை வேணால் போயிட்டு வரலாம். பட் கூகுள் மேப்பில் போனால் கூட திரும்ப வர முடியாது. வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். மெமரி இஸ் வாலடைல் இன் சாஃப்ட் மீடியா. திஸ் இஸ் நாட் டு laugh or to smile. This is to remember. The more you are dependent with your extra gadgets, the more volatile your memory will be. The more attached are you towards your books, more attached you are towards lining, marking, diagram, more better your memory will be. However, the digital platform all are moving towards artificial intelligence. Retina image, artificial intelligence. Ophthalmologist also, no need for ophthalmologist. There are 10,000 images, 1 lakh images. It will compare with other image and give a study. Then your brain will be at risk of developing dementia. Use it or lose it. You want to use your brain, you don't want to lose it, you need to use it. You want to lose it, then don't use it. So dementia comes for people living alone. Some people, husband and wife couple, they live alone for a very long period. So they can have dementia. So dementia you classify as vascular dementia, where you come in infarct or small vessel ischemic changes, and those that dementias that do not have names are called Alzheimer's. They are not able to classify. Untold, சொல்ல முடியாதது, சொல்ல explain பண்ண முடியாதது, unexplainable memory loss, you call it as Alzheimer's. All other explainable memory losses are small vessel ischemic changes, B12 deficiency, hypothyroidism. Endocrine, aging in endocrine, will have a separate session in the forthcoming. We have 4 more classes we need to complete before that. So we complete here with dementia. So what we saw so far is about the degeneration of central nervous system. Now we will see about the infective sequelae. What are all the infective sequelae that you can come across? One important infective sequelae what you need to remember is meningitis. Meningitis is nothing but inflammation of the meninges. It can be viral, as you see in several viral infections, HIV, so many viral infections. Can be bacterial, like in tuberculosis, TB meningitis. It can be fungal. It comes in HIV immunocompromised individuals, and then it can be spirochetal. So the cause may be different, but the presentation is same. So the patient first sign of meningitis is photophobia. Patient will have glaring, gazing at light. They will have neck rigidity. When they bend the neck, their knee automatically gets flexed. That is called Kernick sign, Brudenzi's sign. Please write Kernick's, K-E-R-N-I, K-E-R-N-A. Yes, you get Kernick sign. So Kernick sign, you flex your knee. There is because the meninges are continuous. Even up to the conus medullaris, the meninges are continuous. After the conus medullaris only, there are no meninges, only a thin layer of membrane ending in the phylum terminal. So our meninges ends at the level of conus medullaris. Right, Brudenzi's sign, B-R-U-D, Brudenzi's sign. So meningitis very, very important. So this is generally called as the viral fevers. And then you need to know about some neuronal injuries. The other way around, you flex the neck, there is a flexion at the knee. So neuronal injuries. So next you come to the, what we saw so far is the central nervous system. So the other part of the nervous system or the peripheral nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. Peripheral nervous system are the nerves that are supplying to the skeletal muscles. Autonomic nervous systems are those that supply for the sweating. Those are responsible for our palpitation. Those that are temperature. So all those are taken care by the autonomic nervous system. The neuronal loss both in the peripheral nervous system, in the autonomous nervous system, can happen in many metabolic diseases like in diabetes and hypertension. Like what you see, retinopathy, hypertensive retinopathy, diabetic retinopathy. Similarly, neurological injuries you can come across in neurons that is happening at the level of peripheral nerves. That is why the presentation is called gloves and stocking sensation. பேஷண்ட்ஸ்லாம் சொல்லுவாங்க, காலுக்கு கீழே மரத்து போன மாதிரி இருக்குது. நம்ம அம்மா பாட்டிலாம் சொல்லுவாங்க, நைட்லலாம் எனக்கு தூக்கமே இல்லைம்மா, கால்லாம் குத்துதுமா, எரியுதுமா, அப்படியே காலில் வந்து ஊசி குத்துற மாதிரி எரியுது, கீழே கால் வச்சா பஞ்சில் கால் வச்ச மாதிரி இருக்குது. ஐ ஃபீல் லைக் a walking on a clay. I'm not feeling the floor at all. Night I feel heavy pain sensation. I'm not able to sleep. These are called metabolic injuries to the nerves. So the nerves everybody needs an environment. So suppose இப்போ இதே இங்கே நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம், அங்கே ஒருத்தர் ஃப்ரைட் ரைஸ் போடுறாரு, இங்கே ஒருத்தர் முடி வெட்டுறாருன்னா நம்ம என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? Will you able to concentrate? So you need an environment. The nerves need an environment. So when the environment is lost, so please write diabetic peripheral neuropathy. Yes. So that type of sensation you will see in your foot, paining, pins and needle sensation. Now we will discuss something about called the transmitters, diseases associated with the neurotransmitters. So Parkinson's is one such important diseases associated with the deficiency of neurotransmitter. Namely, what is the neurotransmitter involved in Parkinsonism? Any important padips? Nobody? What is the hormone that is lacking? Excellent. Who is that? Mask போடுறதுனால யார் சொல்றாங்கன்னு தெரியல. Who is that? Please raise your hand. Here. Okay, my listening capacity is less. So right under my nose. So dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone required for feel good. Feel good, satisfied, சந்தோஷமாக, திருப்தியாக. So இது போல இருக்க வேண்டிய hormone is called dopamine. When you are happy, when you are euphoric, when the first prize கிடைச்சிருக்கு, யாரா ஒன்றை போல இல்லைப்பா, ஒன்றை போல யாரும் படிக்க முடியாதுப்பா, ரொம்ப பிரில்லியன்ட்டு அப்படி நம்ம முன்னாடி 4 பேர் சொல்லும்போது உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஹாப்பினஸ் கிடைக்குது இல்லையா, அது ரிவார்டிங். This all happens with a neurotransmitter called dopamine. This deficiency of dopamine either due to age, small vessel ischemic injuries or without any cause is called Parkinson's. So Parkinson's patients have some classical signs and symptoms. So the patients generally have paucity of movements. Paucity, P-A-U-C-I-T-Y. It is not Ondacity, it is paucity. P-A-U-C-I-T-Y. Paucity. Paucity means slowness of movements. Patient வந்து மெல்ல தலை வாருவாங்க. சட்டை பட்டன் போடணும்னா ஸ்லோவாக போடுவாங்க. So paucity of movements is the first sign. How do you identify? Family tour போகும்போது அந்த தாத்தா மட்டும் மெல்ல வருவார். நீங்கள் போமுங்கம்மா, நான் இங்கே உட்கார்ந்துருக்கேன், நீங்களாம் பார்த்துட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னா the tata can be or party can be an essential candidate for Parkinsonism. What are the other signs you see? You see a mask like face. சிரிக்கவே மாட்டாங்க, அழவே மாட்டாங்க, அப்படியே மறைச்சு பார்த்த மாதிரி இருப்பாங்க. It is called mask like face. Then the patient will have rigidity. அப்படியே அந்த கைக்கு அந்த டான்ஸ் ஸ்டெப்போ ஃப்ரீனஸ்லாம் இருக்காது. அந்த கை வந்து எடுத்தால் அப்படியே டைட்டாக வருவாங்க. இட் இஸ் கால்ட் ரிஜிடிட்டி ஆர் இட் கேன் எண்ட் அஸ் ட்ரெமர்ஸ். இப்போ இந்த அவங்களால அந்த கப் ஃபுல் ஆஃப் டீயும் எடுத்துக்க முடியாது. கப் ஃபுல் ஆஃப் டீயாக கொடுத்தாலே சிந்திரும். அப்போ வீட்டில் மருமகளுக்கு மாமியாருக்கு எவ்வளோ தடவை கொடுத்தாலும் வேணும்னு சிந்துறாங்க, நான் வந்து துடைக்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. வாங்கும்போதே சரியாக வாங்கக்கூடாதான், இல்லை எடுக்கும் போதே விழுந்துடும். So it is called tremors. So paucity of movements, mask-like face, tremors, rigidity, and what we saw is called Festinant gait. Festinant gait or scissoring gait. They walk slowly like this. They don't have a swing and stance face. They walk as if their feet is stuck to the ground. They walk as if the feet is stuck to the ground. And the chess boardல சில மேக்னெட் செஸ் போர்ட் நம்ம விளையாடுவோம் இல்லையா, அப்படியே ஸ்லோவாக நாங்கள் மேக்னெட்டிக்காக இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும், நகரவே மாட்டாங்க. they will have drooling of saliva. சட்டெல்லாம் அப்படியே எச்சில் கொட்டி இருக்கும். இதை கண்காணிக்கலைன்னா அப்படியே அவங்க டல் ஆகிடுவாங்க. they die of aspiration pneumonitis. they die of aspiration pneumonitis. அப்படி கொடுத்தோன்னே குடிக்கவே முடியாது அவங்களால, அப்படி கொடுத்தோன்னே இரும்புவாங்க. especially to liquids more than solids. So all this clinical picture put together is called Parkinsonism. So what you அந்த சில பேருக்கு கை இப்படி அசைச்சிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. This is called rosary sign. This is called rosary sign. ஜபமாலை உருட்டுற மாதிரியே இருக்கும். இப்போ ஜபமாலை உருட்டணும்னா அப்படி தானே பண்ணுவாங்க, அந்த மாதிரி அதை உருட்டுற மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால this is called rosary sign. Rosary is called ஜபமாலை. ஸோ நம்ம கழுத்தில் போடுறோம் இல்லையா, அந்த ரோசரி தான் நம்ம இந்த ரோசரி சைன். அண்ட் யூ ஹாவ் வித் ஆல் திஸ் கிளினிக்கல் பிக்சர். ப்ளீஸ் ரைட் பார்க்கின்சோனிசம். எஸ். ஸோ எஸ், ஸோ ஆல் திஸ் யூ வில் see. Parkinson's, slowed movement, reduced rigidity, breathing, all those shuffling steps, they walk slowly. Okay, any doubt so far?